let me see if I can get that to refresh. Oh, okay, hopefully you can hear me, maybe. It's just taking a second. It always takes so long. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I don't know. Hey, Carol. All right, don't know what's going on here. Can anybody hear me? There we go. All right, now I think I'm here. Can you hear me now? All right, yes, you can hear me. Good. Okay, well then, thank you for coming. It's Saturday evening at 7 p.m. on the 31st day of August. Can you even believe that tomorrow is September? That is crazy. Um, I just can't even believe it. It means it's practically fall, so I don't know why it's still 90 degrees here. Probably because it's still summer. So this is the card that I gave you the sneak peek of. Hello, everybody. Hi, Rosie and Shannon and Amy and Georgia and Renee and Faith and everybody. I appreciate you coming. This uses the new Shepherd's Care stamp set. It's a very simple little stamp set, and it is gorgeous. It happens to be a Million Sales Achiever set from Cindy Fedor, so she did a good job. And I actually think this will be a good Christmas card set for this year and beyond. So be putting this on your list, all right? And this is the card that I made with it. Very simple. I've used some Season of Elegance DSP, and that DSP has the added advantage of having two sides. I mean, all DSPs have two sides, but this one is kind of cool because on one side, it looks like oil painting, really. You can almost see the canvas in it if you look closely. And then on the other side is a very similar pattern, but then they've added some gold embossing, which is really pretty. So this was actually all made with one design of the DSP. All right, so let's go ahead and get going. Yes, absolutely great for sympathy. Really, I do like the he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Perfect for a sympathy card. So yeah, this is a really good set, and I like it a lot. All right, so let's get started. This will all be on my blog tomorrow, and you don't even need to take any notes or nothing, not even take notes or nothing. So I'm going to start with a piece of that DSP. This is in primarily basic beige, but it's got some pecan pie in it as well. And I'm going to adhere it with the gold side down to a pecan pie mat. It's a very monochromatic card, or bichromatic card, I guess might be a more accurate way of stating it. And I actually got ahead of myself because I wanted to add some dots there to the top. So let me go ahead and put my little stickies on. Don't be like me. When you make your card, do this part that I'm fixing to do first before you adhere it to the mat, and then you won't have to do this little matting game that I'm fixing to do here. All right? But if you're like me and you screw it up and you get it inadvertently attached to the card stock, don't fret. Just do this. Grab some sticky notes or some sticky note tape or something along that line and just kind of mask out your mat, okay? If you can't do that, then I wouldn't even worry about it overly much. You can probably get it done without getting a lot of it. And we're going to be stamping in basic beige, so it's not going to show up very well on the pecan pie anyway. But for form and to show you how I fix my mistakes, because that's how I roll, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So this image right here is probably in the real world snow, but I'm kind of using it more like stars. Okay, so for this card, these be stars. And I'm just going to stamp across the top in the basic beige ink. And so you get some tone on tone added there. Okay, that's plenty. I know it seemed like a lot of work to put those sticky notes on there just for that. So note to self, put that on before you mat on your pecan pie. Okay? Sarai. Okay. Don't be like me. Let's pretend I did that on purpose just to show you how to fix it. All right, so now I'm going to take two more pieces of that same DSP, but I'm going to adhere it to their pecan pie mats with the gold side up. and that'll just add a little bit of difference. Hello, Denise. Hi, Carol from Prescott, Arizona. Hello, everybody. I hope y'all are having a great weekend. And this is a long weekend, so hopefully for those of you still working, you have Monday off. There you go. It's Memorial Day, right? Is it Memorial? No, it's Labor Day, right? Yes, Labor Day. All right. I have a hard time keeping those two separate. Oh, wait, you know what? Is Memorial Day in May? That way, that would be how I could remember it, I guess. Memorial Day starts with an M. Hopefully it's in May. Okay, so now I'm going to take these and adhere them to the bottom portion of the card base. All right? Side, okay, okay. Very, very simple. And I'm just going to start with this one and then work off of that for the second piece. Okay. Hi, Sue. Hello, Outback Stamping. Leslie. Hello, Leslie. I'm either you really, really like bloomin' onions or you're maybe from Australia. Maybe. I don't know. I just made that up. It sounded good when I said it. Okay, so we're just going to kind of adhere that there. Everything's just kind of the same reveal around the bottoms and the tops, or the sides. So that is that for the time being. We can set that aside. Now, on a piece of basic beige, I think this is my inner liner, so I don't want to stamp on it. On a piece of basic beige, I am going to stamp the large shepherd image with his little lambies, his lambas, in pecan pie ink. Now, I will tell you that I did play around with a version of this where after I did this next die cut that you're fixing to see, I embossed it in the painted texture die, or embossing folder. You can't emboss in a die. Hello. So I tried that and I just didn't like it. So I didn't do that. I just didn't do it. I didn't keep it. Okay. Now, I'm going to go off screen and I am going to use, now I am calling this the third from the largest rectangle. So here's the largest, next to largest, second to largest, third from largest. But I made a graphic for my blog post so you'll be able to see that in case you forget my numbering schema. I'm just going to cut it just like that right there. Okay, so stand by one. Murmur amongst yourselves. Murmur, 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 murmur. Ooh, okay. I think this is the prettiest image, and the way they have made the stamp, you don't have to do anything. It's already shaded and everything, so it's quite beautiful. Quite beautiful, I say to you. All right, so let me put this aside. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals to adhere this to the front of the card. All right. So let me get me some dimensionales. Hey, Tootie, my Tootie, is that right? I'm trying to go from your screen name, so I'm not certain, but welcome. All right, so a few dimensionals here. And then we're going to make us a star and a sentiment. And that'll be what we've got for the front. Now, y'all, if you have not gotten your 15% off discount on your DSP, tonight's the night. This is it. And if you still have bonus days coupons to cash in, this is the last night. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, it'll be like, please use a valid coupon because that one doesn't work. No, it does not. And you don't want that. Okay, so I'm just adhering this to the card front, like so. And I'm going to get rid of these so I don't have them every single where. All right, we'll set that aside. Now, I have a piece of cardstock, which, if I've done it right, is the correct width. And that correct width is 5/8 of an inch. And what I'm going to do, this is basic beige. I'm going to take this sentiment and I am going to stamp Peace on Earth in pecan pie ink. And I'm just going to try to make it as straight as I can. So let me just get a good see where I'm at. Okay, that looks pretty good. But I also see I've got a bit of a halo there, so let me just be careful with that. Don't push down too hard, don't push down too hard, don't push down too hard, just hold, hold, hold. Don't push down too hard, don't push down too hard. Okay, perfect, I'll take it. Now, I'm gonna show you a little tricky trick. In the blog description for the card cuts, it's gonna tell you basic beige, 5/8 of an inch wide. Okay, I'm not gonna give you, there is a length there, but it isn't, it's just a, this is how mine turned out kind of a deal, okay? Because once you get your image stamped, like so, you're just gonna go and use your paper snips to cut the ends in about the same angle, at about the same angle, like that, okay? Then to mat this, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a 3/4 inch wide piece of pecan pie, long enough that it's longer to, you know, Carolina, I am not entirely sure that Rosie can put a link in here because I don't know that it'll let her put a link. But if you'll go to my blog post, Stamps-N-Lingers.com, you will see just below my signature and the host code section is a sign up area, and you can get signed up right there. I'm going to put this on right side up, not because it matters, but because it makes my head hurt. So what I'm doing is I'm just adhering this to this pecan pie mat. And because I did the measurement correctly spaced. And then I'm just going to take long enough that you can cut off both ends like that and have space to do it. So I'm truly just eyeballing that matte reveal right there. And by doing that, both the matte and the sentiment have the same angle, okay? So there's your little tricky trick for today. Now, we'll go ahead and I'm going to adhere that. It's going to be on my, I'm just going to set it on the card base so that I can make sure that I don't go off the edge, because I don't mind if it goes over the mat, but I don't want it to go off of the edge of the card base. So I'm going to put some liquid glue on this side on the back and a dimensional on that side on the back. And I'm going to adhere it like so. All right. And then a little bit of liquid glue. No, I don't have bad weather here. I mean, if it's here, it's not doing anything. I do have a question, though. I heard last week there was someone, that there were people who had a lot of static. Are you getting that today? Just let me know. Oh, you're having some, I do see a little bit of jerkiness on, every once in a while I'll look over and my hands are going really fast. So it could, I suppose it could be my internet. That I did that on purpose. That last one was me doing it, not the buffering. I don't really know what the deal is, guys. I'm sorry. I really truly cannot begin to tell you how over social media I am this week. I really, really, really am. All right, I'm going to take those lids off. I've got a little extra piece there that I didn't need, but that's okay. Okay, so no static. Good, that's really good. I had buffering too, then the screen was blurry. Seems like, I don't know. I am, like I said, I'm just really quite over the whole social media thing, truly. Okay, so we're going to put this on here, and I really wanted him so that it didn't interfere with either of the lambs. I wanted the lambs to show for sure. For sure. Now, you want to get risky. Let's get risky, okay? All right, I'm going to get risky and put this, I'm just going to go ahead and adhere this right now. Oh my gosh. Oh, the pressure is on to not put the inside in upside down. But I'm going to do it. Why? I don't know. Why don't you... Okay, so when I was showing horses, the adage was, you don't change your equipment right as you're going in the show ring. So, as an example, if you're accustomed to riding with an English snaffle or just a snaffle bit on your horse, you don't decide that going to a Pelham as you're headed into the show arena is a good idea, even if your horse is being a jerk. You just don't do it. You don't change equipment. What in the world? you don't change equipment, because that's just asking for trouble. So that's basically what I'm doing right here, is I am changing my process in the middle of the show by adhering my card front before I have done the inside. Ooh, risky, risky. Okay, now let's make us a star. Now, for those of you who hate to fussy cut, pull up your panties, because this is going to be some fussy cut. I'm going to take and fussy cut the star. Not to worry. Hey, Carolina, I'm really excited for it too. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a lot of people, so we're going to be busy and having a good time. I can't wait. And Amy and I are excited and hoping that this works good. You know, before I do that, let me get my embossing powder out. And I'm going to turn my fan. Y'all, when I get done with this, would you remind me to put the fan back on so that I'm not sweating like my pony when I get done here? Okay, so I'm going to use gold embossing powder, and you know that's in the metallics, the Wow Metallics embossing powder pack, and you get copper, silver, and gold all together. So I've got that stamped in Versamark, which is sticky, so you get an extra little bit of time, and it's designed to hold the powder. Okay, so we're just going to give that a sprinkle and a tap and a tap, and turning away from the embossing powder container, give it a little blow blow. Okay, now going to get a little loud. I apologize. Oh, let me clean that off. The Versamark is a little sticky, so I do try to clean my stamp right away after I've used Versamark. That's just me. Okay, so we're going to get loud. Apologies. And we're just going to let that emboss. So it takes a second for the heat tool to warm up. We're using the number 2 setting, which is the high setting. Once it gets going and hot, you're going to start to see that change. And the metallics are particularly dramatic. They're really fun. How fun is that? I love it. It's so pretty. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Now remember, when you've just embossed, and it's still hot, it's still a little smeary, so give it a second to cool off. And while it's doing that, I'm just going to kind of cut it off of this bigger piece of cardstock. And all of you are going, why did you use such a big piece? Well, because I forgot about it until the very last second. Okay, I'm turning my fan back now. Whew. Till the very last second, and I just grabbed one instead of measuring how big a big one I needed. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this out. Sometimes when I fussy cut, I do what I would call a die cut fussy cut, which means I would leave an edge around the image. But in this case, I'm not going to do that. Maybe I will. Okay, on the sample I did, well, you know what? Let's try it with a die cut look. How about that? So you'll see what that means. The other way is what I would consider a hard fussy cut, which is I do not leave an edge. Okay. No, I'm not going to do that because it's not going to be pointy enough to make me happy. Okay, so I'm going back to my hard fussy cut where I'm not leaving an edge of the beige. Okay? Because I want those points to be pointy. Like stars. Because all stars are pointy. We know this to be true. We've probably seen them in the Hubble telescope. Probably seen them in the Hubble telescope. Oh, I saw a good book come through my... Where did I see it? I must have seen it... I don't remember where I saw the name of it, but it's called... it's about the 135 shuttle missions. And so each mission of the shuttle is kind of... it's just very briefly described, and then they have a little story about something that happened on that mission from the astronauts that are, well, still with us, who can share those things. It's pretty interesting, really. I always wonder, you know, you know how you sometimes have things that you kind of regret and you think, I should have done that. I don't think I have the cojones to be a shuttle pilot or heck, even just to ride it up and down back. I don't know that I've got not balls. I almost said, I did say it. I don't know that I've got the the courage to do that, but I always kind of wish I did. You know what I'm saying? I think that would have been some kind of cool. But boy, are they brave. Even right at towards the end when it was so routine, that's still so brave. But those guys that went up on the Saturn, holy smokes. We watched First Man the other day. We'd seen it before, but it came on Netflix, and we watched it, and that was kind of cool. Okay. All right. So Rosie, oh good, Rosie. The September 3rd class, is it free? Okay, so September 3rd is not a class, it's the 28th. The 3rd is the date for signing up so that we can make sure we have a good list of all the things that we need to order on the 4th. It is not free, it's $39. Oh, Rosie has already explained that. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to adhere this right here in the corner. And I'm going to use liquid glue, and then I'm going to use my tweezers to slide a few little tiny pieces of dimensional under these two bigger points that are sticking out, just to kind of give it a little bit of support. Navy SEALs, wow. Now see, I know for certain sure I couldn't do that. I mean, they'd lose me well before buds even started. When they said, and now pick up this log and run into the ocean, I'd be like, nope, no. Heck, I probably couldn't even be in the Navy to begin with. I just don't swim well enough at all by any stretch. So first off, thank him for his service, and yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm just adhering that with my liquid glue kind of in the large center of the star. We'll make it kind of straight. I feel pretty certain that the Star of Bethlehem would have shown straightly like that. All right, and I'll put that back on, and then I'm going to get my dimensional pieces out, and what I'm going to do is I'm just cutting a little bit off of this edge, okay? I really am trying to make a couple of small pieces that I can put right there and right there, okay? Is this persnickety? Yes. I'm sorry. I try to not do persnickety stuff. I really do, because I know that it's annoying for you to be like, oh, Mary, that is persnickety and I don't want to do it. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. If one already had, would there be a reduced price to join the Zoom? No, we're not going to do that. What we figured is it's all expendable stuff. So you're, things that you can use up. So you can either use it up and consider it, your replacement is already in hand, or you can give it to somebody as a gift. Okay, so there's one little piece under there. And here's my other little piece. And I'm going to see why tweezers are like so necessary. So necessary. They really are necessary. I know, right, Carol? It was really, yeah. I mean, I liked it from the jump, but now I am really, really loving it a lot. That is being really a pill pot. That is being a pill pot. Okay, so now I'm just going to slide that underneath, making sure I can't see it, and I cannot. There we go. All right. Then to finish this one off, I'm going to take some of these druzy embellishments, which I love. I'm going to take a small champagne one and put it right in the center of the star. And that is the card front. Okay, so for the inside, I'm going to use another piece of basic beige, and I'm going to stamp my second sentiment in pecan pie ink. And I'm using the praying that you will feel the Good Shepherd's care in this season and throughout the coming year. And I'm going to ink it up real good. And I am going to do what I tell you guys to do. When you are stamping with the rubber stamps, especially something you really care about it being straight, I really want you to do a pre-check. And I mean every single time you pull the set out, because you can't remember, or you just can't remember from time to time. And then line some straight line. I'm using and throughout that line right there, and I'm trying to line it straight up with this line on my grid paper. And you can see it's got a little bit of a tilt to the up to the left, right? Because it matters how good a job I did putting the sticker on and how good a job Stampin' Up! Did engraving this piece of rubber. So when I get this on my card, I'm going to line it up exactly straight, and then I'm going to just give it a little tilt, okay? Except I'm going to give it a little tilt that way, because if I tilted it the other way, I would be just making the problem much worse. Much worse, much worse. All right, go for it, Stephanie. Okay, so let me get this. I'm going to pull it to me. I'm trying to make it look as straight as I can, and then I'm going to just, I'm checking to, oh yes, I wanted to tilt the left side down. Okay, so straight as I can, and then just a little tilt to the left. And I'm holding it, I'm not rocking it, and that is a good straight image. Okay? All righto. Hello, Linda from Idaho. Hope you're having a good weekend. Now I'm going to take that star and I'm going to stamp it right there in Basic Beige. And I know that this one is kind of easy to get a halo on, so I'm going to be real careful. And I'm just kind of making it so that this point comes right next to Care, and then I split the difference with that line right there. Okay? Does it really matter if you do it exactly like I'm doing it? No. I'm just telling you how I did it. And then straight again, because I feel like it should be straight. Okay, here we go. I'm just holding it, right? Not rocking it. Not rocking it. Right, Mary Catherine? I know. Okay, so there's our star. Now, if all was really good, if I was going to be honest with you here, I would prefer that I had moved it that way a little bit, but I'm not going to push my luck. I got a good straight image there, so I'm going with it. I meant to have that go off like that, just saying. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to use one of the clear druzy embellishments right in the center, and there we go. And now I will adhere it to the inside. Thank you, Deborah. To the inside of my card base. Some of you may say, why didn't you just stamp that? Because that terrifies me as much as wearing an all white dress with white shoes and white nylons, white gloves, where I just might as well just beg the gods of dirt to get all over me. So even though it's tone on tone, I like the way the tone on tone looks. It's a clean look. But it also means that I haven't ruined my card base if I screw it up, right? See, there's method to my madness. I am not just a complete wackadoodle. All right, here we go. But it is a nice look. I think it is a nice look with the tone-on-tone inside liner. If you didn't love this, you could actually make this just a little bit smaller. This is a 4 by 5 1/4. So if you wanted to, you could certainly use a pecan pie mat. I would make the mat the 4 by 5 1/4, and then make this basic beige piece 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. But that's just me, and you can certainly do that if that makes you happier. Yes, I absolutely agree, Carol. It does balance it. It gets a little bit front heavy if you don't do that. So there's our card. What's that? Oh, that's just a piece. I can't get my finger in there for some reason. I love the tone on tone look. All right. And now we'll just, I'm just going to stamp the star in Basic Beige on the front of my envelope. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. All right. And I'm just going to put it down here. Actually, I am going to go off of the edge. I want to go off the edge a little bit here. Again, because I know these little small stamps, sometimes they're real easy to halo because I get a little heavy-handed, you know, inking up. So don't rock. Don't rock the boat, baby. Rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. There we go. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the DSP on the envelope flap. And because it's a holiday card, I'm going to put the gold side up. So the post office will have a good time while they misroute it and send it to Timbuktu. All right. There we go. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Elaine. Thanks, Daryl. All right, world's easiest fussy cut. After you've fussy cut that star, this is going to be nothing. But always use it as an opportunity to practice your fussy cutting skills and do it correctly. Perfect practice makes something or other. I don't know. Perfect practice makes perfect. That's what it is. Okay, so there we go. I now have 2 Christmas cards ready to roll, and I'm telling you, this is going to be a wonderful card for Christmas. I hope you will look to it. You don't have to fussy cut a star if you don't want to. You could just make this a larger panel and stamp that on the top corner. You can do whatever makes you happy with it. Just use it because it's really, truly awesome. All right, guys, I appreciate you spending part of your weekend with me, and I hope the rest of your weekend is awesome. I will see you next week in September. Don't forget, the new catalog live on Wednesday the 4th. 1, 2, 3. Yes, Wednesday the 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, Wednesday the 4th. All right, be ready to order up and add Shepherd's Care in. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Bye.